ago, and as you will see. Now, you already know about Ray Christian because that's why you're here. You know that he is a Moth winner and very involved with the Moth storytelling slams, and you know that he's a professor, and you know that he's a storyteller a long time and everything else. I will tell you that we found out when I picked him up from the airport yesterday and just took him along to the house that he's staying at, we found out that we have so much in common that actually, I don't know if you can tell, but I think we were separated at birth. And it just goes to show you that when you hear somebody's stories, you realize how connected you are and what a deep relationship we have with virtually everybody else. So I think that's my introduction to the wonderful Ray Christian.
Yes, Mom had a hard time explaining it to me. Well, greetings from Boone, North Carolina, where the black population is less than 1%. So, feel like home. It's snowing in Boone right now. It's snowing when I left, it's snowing right now, it's going to be snowing tomorrow. Think about living in a place like Boone with such a small black population, not the obvious stuff, but the fact that it's like four of us, when I say us, I'm talking about 4 black males who basically come in town that you can see on the streets. And the thing is, because there's only 4 of us, we often get mistaken for one another. And that probably wouldn't be an issue if one of them was a lawyer or a doctor or somebody famous or had lots of money. Or old people older money, that would be fine. But one of the guys is, he's probably schizophrenic and he walks the street and he talks to himself. That's one guy I'm often mistaken for. People come up to me and go, no, you told me that already. I don't know. The other guy is a well-known tap dancer at Clogger. That's kind of all right, when a stranger might come up to me and maybe a stranger from Florida and say, you're that dancer. No, it's not me. The other guy, he was arrested 3 or 4 times for publicly exposing himself. And it's like, no, what I really want to do is get the 4 of us together and go, look, you can't commit no crimes, all right? All we got to do is get the 4 of us and one of us did it. Yeah. People often ask me, how did I get involved in storytelling? I always say, the first thing you do is you live life. Then you talk about it. Don't worry about it. You live long enough, something will happen. So by way of introduction, just to kind of warm you up a little bit, I'm going to do something I try to do with students. You see this in cartoons a lot. I'm going to try to tell you 2 stories at the very same time about something light and about something heavy. When I'm done with this story, or while I'm telling you this story, you point to me, or you raise your hand if you think you know how this story is split. 2 stories at the same time, it's only 5 minutes. That's your challenge, right? If you're with me, just give me some with your hand to let me know that you're with me. As I tell the story, you see the story having 2 different meanings. You may or may not realize what it's like to grow up in an environment where the only real measure of your social worth is what you look like physically. And that was my problem. It was a dilemma for me. But despite that defect, I did have one friend. And the defect I'm talking about is ugliness. I wasn't a good-looking kid, but I did have this friend, this guy. Well, my friend had brown hair and brown eyes. And he had this curious habit of licking his own butt. Because he was a dog. Real dog. My dog Max. Would that be strange otherwise? And I loved Max. I absolutely loved this dog. He was my dearest friend in the world. But despite the fact I had this great love for Max, and I thought that Max had this great love for me, one day I came home from school and I found out that Max had broken the bonds that held us together. that Max had decided he wanted to go out and see the world and have new adventures. Max ran away. I spent hours and hours and hours looking for Max. Every time I would get close to a corner and I'd see something turn or run into an alley, I would think it was Max, and I would yell out, "Max! Hey, Max!" And it wasn't Max. After about 6 hours of searching and searching, I still don't find him. And right as I get up near the exit ramp of the highway, I see Max. And as soon as Max sees me, he sits down, he sticks his tongue out, he starts wagging his tail, he barks a couple of times, you know how dogs can be. So I go, "Come here, Max, come here, boy, I'm so happy to see him." What does Max do? He runs away from me, being a dog. He runs about 20 feet away, he stops, he sits down, he's wagging his tail, he sticks his tongue out, just being Max. And we keep doing this until Max runs up the exit ramp of the highway. And I give out a loud scream, "Max!" And a car comes and it slams into Max and throws him across the highway. And in that moment, all of a sudden I couldn't hear anymore. It was as if a fog had landed down over the highway. I couldn't hear the cars that were swerving around me, honking their horns, slamming on brakes, and I didn't care. All I wanted to do was go out on that road and pick up my dear friend. And I picked him up, and I could see the bone sticking out of his leg, and it was bleeding. And I walked off that highway, and I went back to the exit ramp, and I was in such despair, I just dropped to my knees, and I just cried. What in God's name am I going to do? I don't know what to do for my dear friend. He's broken, he's bleeding, I'm a dirty little black kid on the corner, no one's going to do anything for me. In proximity to this exit ramp on the highway were a lot of office buildings. And a lot of beautiful, well-dressed people were starting to get off work at the same time. And as people saw me looking so pathetic down there in that corner, people did everything they could to avoid me, to walk around me, to get away from me. And as I was looking down in the deepest despair, just crying to the ground, every time I would squeeze Max, he would just whimper. And I would cry even more. And as I was looking down toward the ground, a pair of shiny new shoes stopped right in front of me. And inside those shoes was a white man wearing a blue suit. He had a gold watch, a white shirt, a blue tie. He smelled like cologne. His fingernails were well groomed. He looked at me and he says, "What do you need?" I'm thinking, certainly, this man is not going to help me. Is this a cruel joke? And I look at him and I said, "I just want to go home with my dog." He says, "Okay, I'll be right back." He's not coming back. Why would he? I continued to cry as people continued to avoid me and walk around me. When a car stopped in front of me, honked the horn, the window goes down, it's the man. And he says, "Get in the front of the car, put the dog in your lap, tell me where you want to go." I want to go home. Now I'm directing him to where I live. But I'm already thinking, there's no way this white man is going to take me to the ghetto. He's not going to do that. But he does. As I give him my directions, turn left, go straight, turn right. He doesn't say anything to me about the street lights being out. He doesn't say anything about the guys standing on the corner, the dilapidated, burnt out houses, nothing, not a word. He drops me in front of my dark house, and he leaves me with, "I hope you have good luck with your dog." And he leaves. Max didn't make it. But even at a very young age, this was so important to me. It was so significant in my life, I never wanted to forget it. From that point on, I wanted to write it, indict it, print it, paint it, stamp it, stain it, hue it, cut it, mark it in my consciousness, so I would never forget. For even to this day, when I'm in a car, any kind of automobile, I am always looking out the window for a little white boy with a dog trying to get home. You see you raise your hands. If I gave you like 30 seconds to marinate on that a little bit, can you see two stories? What am I talking about? Is that a story about a dog?